Did you know that a single letter, the letter Y, could solve the biggest privacy problem in modern home design? Not with extra walls, not with long dark hallways, not by shrinking your rooms, just by the shape of the house itself. Here's the thing most people never think about when they look at a floor plan. Hallways are expensive, they eat space, and honestly, they do not actually give you the privacy you think they do. A hallway is a pass-through. It is dead space. And what architects and housing researchers have confirmed, and what is now the dominant reality in new construction in 2026, is that hallways can consume anywhere from 5 to 15% of a home's total area. In a 2,000 square foot home, that is up to 300 square feet. Gone, wasted, paid for, and you cannot live in it. So what is the alternative? What creates real zone separation, real acoustic privacy, and real spatial boundaries, without burning square footage on corridors? The Y shape. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly how it works, why architects are calling it one of the most efficient floor plan geometries in residential design today, and how you can use this concept whether you're building from scratch, converting a structure, or just planning your next dream home. Stay with me, because the most surprising part comes later when we talk about what happens in the center of the Y. That is where the magic actually lives. Before we go any further, if you're new here, this channel is where we pull back the curtain on smarter housing design. No fluff, no hype, just honest, research-backed information to help you build, buy, or imagine better. Hit subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss a drop. And if you find this video useful, a thumbs up helps this information reach more people who need it. Now let's get into it. Let us start with the villain of this story, the hallway. Hallways became standard in home design during the 1800s, specifically because houses in that era were built for servants and social hierarchy. You needed corridors so that different classes of people could move through the house without crossing paths. That was the original function. Not privacy, not acoustics, social segregation. We stopped building houses for servants over a century ago, but the hallway stuck around. By 2025 and into 2026, the hallway-free design movement is no longer a trend. It is the dominant market reality. Research from John Burns Research and Consulting, one of the most respected housing data firms in the country, confirmed that architects and residential designers are now actively doing what they call Tetris-ng functional rooms together to eliminate hallways. Their U.S. Residential Architecture and Design Survey identified this as the primary tactic builders are using to reduce square footage costs without actually shrinking rooms. And here's the cost angle that makes this really sting. A real-world architectural analysis published on House documented a 2,815 square foot home where 924 square feet, that is 32% of the total area, was dedicated purely to hallways. Dead circulation, space the homeowner paid for and could never use. Now update that to 2026 pricing. In high-demand coastal markets like Santa Barbara, California, you are looking at $450 per square foot on the low end for custom construction. Run that math on 924 square feet of hallways, and you are spending over $400,000 on corridors. That is the price of a second house in some markets, spent on dead air. At the same time, Jen Shurtleff, director of product research at Highland Homes, one of Texas's biggest builders, confirmed that about 60% of their top 50 floor plans now feature limited or zero hallway space. This is mainstream construction in 2026, so builders are getting rid of hallways. But here's the problem that nobody solved well for a long time. Hallways were doing a job. They were separating zones. They were providing acoustic distance between a bedroom and a kitchen. They were giving you a transition, a physical buffer between private and public space. If you remove them, how do you replace that function? That is the question the Y-shape answers better than almost any other floor plan geometry. And I'm going to show you exactly how. Alright, let us talk about geometry. The Y-shape, at its simplest, is a floor plan where three wings branch out from a central core, like the letter Y. Each arm of the Y can serve a completely different functional zone. And the genius is this. The angle between each arm, typically somewhere between 90 and 120 degrees, means that no two wings are directly facing each other. There is always physical distance and angular separation built right into the structure. This is the architectural equivalent of a sound baffle. Except instead of adding something to create separation, you are using the shape itself as the separator. Let me walk you through how a real Y-shaped layout works. Arm 1. This is your private zone. Bedrooms, master suite, maybe a personal home office. It points away from the street, away from noise, and away from the social wing of the house. Arm 2. This is your secondary private or semi-private zone. Could be guest bedrooms, a kid's wing, a home studio, or a multi-generational suite. It is separated from Arm 1 by both distance and angle. Arm 3. This is your social zone. Open kitchen, dining, living room. It often faces the entry and the main outdoor areas. It is the loud, energetic, connected wing of the home. And then there is the center, the hub where all three arms meet. This is the buffer zone. In most Y-shaped designs, this central core is occupied by a utility function, a shared bathroom, a laundry area, a pantry, a mudroom entry point, or in some architecturally bold designs, an open living hub. Whatever is placed here acts as an acoustic and spatial transition point between every zone in the house. Sound has to travel from one arm through the central hub and down another arm to reach the next zone. That is a minimum of 2 direction changes and significant physical distance, without a single hallway being required. One of the most celebrated real-world examples is the Y House by Saunders Architecture, built in the Craig Ridge community near Calgary, Alberta. The design team at Saunders specifically noted that each wing was designed with its own form, shape, and plan to respond to the site, the topography, and different environmental conditions. The Y shape allowed them to differentiate sleeping, social, and recreational zones while maintaining visual and acoustic independence, all clad in floor-to-ceiling glazing with the landscape acting as a natural sound absorber between the arms. That is a building doing the work a hallway used to do, except it does it better. Now let us go deeper, because the phrase buffer zone gets thrown around a lot in architecture, but most people do not understand the mechanics behind it. A traditional hallway buffer works on one principle: distance. You put space between the bedroom and the kitchen, and sound loses energy as it travels. But that distance is totally passive. The hallway itself does nothing. It just takes up space. The Y-shaped buffer zone works on 3 principles simultaneously, and this is where it gets genuinely interesting. Principle 1, angular displacement. When sound waves travel in a straight line and hit a corner or change of direction, a significant portion of that energy is reflected away rather than transmitted. In a Y-shape, any sound originating in one arm must navigate the angular turn at the central hub before it can enter another arm. That angular displacement kills a substantial percentage of acoustic energy before it ever enters the adjacent zone. This is the same principle used in industrial noise reduction. They call it a sound maze, or an acoustic baffle wall. Principle 2, functional mass between zones. The central hub in a well-designed Y-shape is not empty. It contains something: a bathroom, a pantry, a utility room. By placing what builders call the wet core, your bathrooms and laundry, at the Y junction, you are not just using air as a buffer. You are using the highest density part of the house: pipes, cabinetry, tile, plumbing walls, to kill vibrations before they travel between wings. And in 2026, smart builders are taking this even further. We are seeing a significant shift toward high-performance insulation materials in these hub walls, specifically mineral wool and high-density hemp bat. These materials go into the hub partition walls and create near-total acoustic isolation between the arms. It is a simple upgrade, and the difference in real-world noise reduction is not subtle. Principle 3, visual privacy through arm orientation. Acoustic privacy and visual privacy are not the same thing, but the Y-shape handles both simultaneously. Because the arms branch at angles, someone standing in the social wing literally cannot see into the private sleeping wing. There are no sight lines. There is no direct line of visibility from the open kitchen into the bedroom corridor. That visual separation is baked into the geometry. Compare that to a standard rectangular open-plan home, where you eliminate hallways, but you also eliminate any visual separation between zones. You get efficiency, but you lose privacy. The Y-shape gives you the efficiency of a no-hallway design and the privacy of a zoned layout at the same time. This is exactly why architects and researchers designing for multi-generational households are gravitating toward branching geometries like the Y, the U, and the H shape. The arms create natural zone independence without requiring separate structures or long connecting hallways. Now you know how the Y shape works. Let's talk about where it works in practice, because this is not just a luxury architecture concept. Application 1. Multi-generational living. This is the single biggest use case for Y-shaped floor planning right now. As of 2026, nearly 28% of U.S. households are multi-generational. That is not a niche statistic. That is almost 1 in 3 American homes. The Y-shape has moved from an architectural novelty to what designers are now calling a survival strategy for families navigating housing costs. The concept is called connected independence. You share the kitchen, the social arm, but the acoustic displacement of the Y geometry means a teenager in arm 1 is not waking up a grandparent in arm 2. Nobody is walking through anyone else's private space to reach a shared resource. The geometry creates the separation that used to require a separate structure. Application 2. Tiny homes and compact builds. This one surprises people. You might think the Y-shape only works at scale, but the zone separation benefits of a branching geometry are arguably even more valuable in a small footprint. In a 600 or 800 square foot tiny home, a rectangular layout either forces you into a hallway that consumes 10 to 15% of your total space, or it forces total open plan living with zero privacy. The Y-shape offers a third option. 3 short arms of 100 to 200 square feet each, branching from a compact central hub. You get distinct sleep, work, and social zones with built-in angular buffer separation in a footprint that might look like a simple cabin from the outside. And here is something genuinely exciting happening in 2026. 3D concrete printing companies, including builders like Icon, are discovering that Y-shaped and branching footprints actually suit their technology extremely well. A concrete printer moves in continuous paths, and nonlinear branching geometries are easier for the print head to execute than the sharp internal corners that rectangular framing teams have to cut and frame by hand. The Y-shape is not just compatible with this emerging construction method, it is one of the most efficient shapes for it. Application 3. Shed-to-home conversions and ADUs. Accessory dwelling units, ADUs, are booming across the country as zoning reform opens up more opportunities for backyard homes and secondary structures. Most ADUs are under 1,200 square feet, which puts enormous pressure on internal layout efficiency. A Y-shaped ADU footprint, even a modest one, can accommodate sleeping, social, and work zones with genuine separation. And because the Y-shape produces a compact structural perimeter with fewer linear exterior walls than an equivalent L or U shape, it can reduce foundation and framing costs per livable square foot. Application 4. Hybrid modular design. In 2026, hybrid modular construction, where individual wings are fabricated off-site and assembled on location, has become the dominant method for mid-range custom builds. The branching wing structure of a Y-shape maps almost perfectly onto this method. Each arm of the Y is a standalone module. The central hub is the connecting junction, assembled on-site. This is one reason Y-shaped forms appear so frequently in modular hospitality, eco-retreat, and high-end ADU architecture. The geometry is efficient to prefabricate in pieces and efficient to assemble on challenging terrain. Alright, I want to be honest with you here. No floor plan geometry is perfect, and part of my job on this channel is to give you the full picture, not just the highlight reel. Here are the genuine trade-offs of the Y-shape that you need to think about before you draw up plans. Trade-off 1. Foundation complexity. This is the most important one to understand going in. A rectangular home has 4 corners. A Y-shaped home has significantly more exterior angles, and each one adds complexity to the foundation, the roofline, and the exterior wall framing. Because the surface area to volume ratio is higher than a simple box, you have more building envelope per square foot of interior space. In 2026, with concrete costs rising and carbon taxes on materials becoming a real factor in build pricing, a Y foundation can run 15 to 20% more than a comparable simple slab. You are trading wasted interior square footage for increased exterior complexity. For most people, that is a net lifestyle win, but it is not a budget wash. Know the numbers before you commit. Trade-off 2, roofline design. The Y-shape produces a complex roofline, particularly at the central hub, where three arms meet. This junction point requires careful structural engineering and can create water management challenges if not detailed correctly. Flat roof or monopitch designs handle this most cleanly. Pitched roofs at the hub intersection require experienced detailing and cannot be treated as a standard build. Trade-off 3, furniture and interior flow. Each arm of a Y-shaped home is essentially a rectangle. That part is simple, but the angular geometry of the central hub can create awkward transition spaces that are hard to furnish or finish cleanly. Designers typically address this by making the hub a purely functional utility zone, bathroom, laundry, pantry, or by embracing the angular geometry with custom built-ins and curved design elements. Either approach works, but both require more design intention than a standard rectangular layout. Trade-off 4, lot fit. A Y-shaped building footprint needs a lot that can accommodate arms branching in multiple directions. It works exceptionally well on irregular lots, hillside terrain, or wooded sites where the arms can follow terrain contours or capture specific views. It is harder to fit on a narrow urban lot or a tight rectangular suburban plot where setbacks limit your geometric options. Know these trade-offs going in. Weigh them against the zone separation benefits for your specific situation. That is how good building decisions get made. Before we wrap up, I want to give you 5 concrete design principles that you can actually use, whether you're working with an architect, a designer, or planning something yourself. Principle 1. Use the hub as a hard worker. Do not leave the central core empty. Fill it with a bathroom, a utility room, a pantry, or a mudroom. Dense mass at the center means acoustic absorption at the center. If your budget allows it, pack those hub walls with mineral wool or hembat insulation. The harder that hub works functionally and acoustically, the better it buffers every arm that surrounds it. Principle 2. Assign each arm a clear identity. The zone separation benefit of a Y-shape only works if you honor the zone concept. If you mix loud and quiet uses within a single arm, a bedroom at the tip and a home office at the base of the same arm, you are defeating the geometry. Each arm should have one primary use identity: private, semi-private, or social. Principle 3. Orient the social arm toward entry and outdoor living. The open kitchen and living zone should face your primary entry point and your main outdoor space. This is both functionally logical and creates the most welcoming experience for visitors. They enter into the active social heart of the home and never penetrate the private wings. Principle 4. Use the angular gaps between arms as outdoor rooms. This is one of the underused brilliances of the Y-shape. The spaces between the arms, the angles of open land between each wing, can become sheltered outdoor rooms. Protected from prevailing wind by the building wings themselves, these zones are ideal for private courtyards, garden rooms, or outdoor dining areas with genuine privacy. The Y gives you 3 such outdoor pockets, compared to 1 or 2 in AU or L configuration. Principle 5. Do not force a Y shape onto the wrong lot. Let the terrain guide the geometry. The Y shape excels on irregular terrain, hillside sites, and lots with multiple distinct orientation opportunities. When the arms of the Y can each respond to a different site condition, the geometry earns its keep. When you are forcing it onto a flat suburban rectangle, a well-designed split-bedroom layout or an L shape may serve you better. So here's where we land. Hallways are disappearing from modern home design, not because architects stopped caring about privacy, but because smarter geometry has made them obsolete. The Y-shape is one of the most powerful examples of that shift. 3 arms, 1 central hub, zone separation baked into the building's DNA, not bolted on with corridors that eat your square footage and your budget. The data backs this up. The architectural precedent backs this up. The construction technology of 2026 backs this up. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Whether you are planning a 600 square foot tiny cabin or a 2,500 square foot multi-generational family home, the principles are the same. Orient your zones with intention. Use the geometry as your buffer. Let the shape of the building do the heavy lifting that a hallway used to do, and use those saved square feet for something you can actually live in. If this video opened up a new way of thinking about floor plans for you, I want to know about it. Drop a comment below. Tell me what kind of build you're working on, or what floor plan question you want to tackle next. I read every comment, and if you have not subscribed yet, now is a good time. We publish new videos every day breaking down the real mechanics behind smart, affordable, alternative housing. No hype, no fluff, just the honest information you need to build better. I will see you in the next one.